everybody? We got that funky music coming in on this beautiful, beautiful day outside Chicago. My name is Aaron Desoto. This is Ballroom Real Talk. And today I'm going to be talking to you, just you, me, and everybody else who's watching, which is probably like 100,000 people. Yeah, you can bring that music back up? Okay. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, today what I want to talk to you about is something that's, I wouldn't say on the serious side, but it's legit. You know, that's real. It's real. The topic is, you're gonna miss this. You're gonna miss this. Now, you're not gonna miss this podcast. No, I'm not talking about the podcast. I'm talking about your dancing. I'm talking about where you're at right now in your studio with your dancing, with your teachers, with your studio, with all your friends in that studio. I'm telling you right now, today's theme is you're going to miss this. What does that mean? You're going to miss this. You're going to want this back. You guys heard that country song. Sometimes we take for granted what we've got going on right now in our lives, and we're going to talk specifically in our dance studios. And I'm talking about that journey again. We're in the studio. We've got a lot of great things happening. We're doing our events. We're having our lessons. We're having a blast. We don't realize that these actually could be the good old days. We're living in right now the good old days. Isn't that funny? You never think about it while you're in it. You think about it later. 15 years, 20 years later, you're like, man, when I was taking lessons in that studio, I had so much fun dancing with my teachers. We were going to competitions. We were doing events. I remember this one time, my teacher, he tripped and we laughed. There's so many funny, great stories. That's probably happening right now for some of you in the studio. And I want you guys to make sure you're aware of what's happening in your studio right now and really enjoy it. Take a step back, like they say, and smell the roses and go, you know what? I'm loving this right now. Because you know what? I've been around for 19 years now, and we've had a really good run in our studio, and we're still doing great. But we've had some students. We had a core of students probably in 2000, from 2005, beginning of 6 through 2012, that there was a solid group of about 15 students who would travel together, who would do events together, who would take coaching together, who were just really part of this amazing group, amazing clique that did so many things inside the studio and out because they became friends, that it was such a magical time at that time. And we did enjoy it, and we did have fun, and we were having a blast, and we knew it was great. But years later, I talked to them, and they almost always bring up, man, those were the good old days, weren't they? We had so much fun. That was a time of my life. I wish we could go back to that. And it's really special because, that specific group of people, they loved it. They had their fun, and that's a great memory, and they'll always cherish that. And I want to make sure that you guys are perhaps in your studio, in your dance journey, and you may be in the middle of that right now. You may be experiencing the good old times, the fun memories, the new friends, the experiences. There's ups, there's downs. Yeah, that's all part of life. That's all part of it, the experience. Make sure you're enjoying it and making the most of it, and don't cut the good old times early. Don't cut them early. What do I mean by that? Well, don't let something silly or something minuscule take you off or away from the good old times. What am I talking about, Aaron? Well, let me tell you, I talked to myself today. Maybe nobody's here. Declan's over there, but I told not to talk. So what I'm saying is, something minuscule comes up like, oh, you know what? This year for my birthday, my teacher got me 5 roses. Oh, that's great. No, last year he got me 6. And this year I only got 5. I don't know if I'm going to keep dancing with him. I mean, come on. We're too good for 5 roses these days? No, the teacher probably forgot, did his best. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. What I'm saying is, there's going to be some little things that happen because we're not perfect. But look at the big picture, man. You're having a great time. Enjoy it while you can, because things can switch on a dime. Unfortunately, things can switch on the dime, and that could be anything. You could be possibly transferring jobs, maybe a new location. Somebody in your family now needs help. Maybe they're sick. Maybe you have a parent that you now have to take care of. You don't have time for dancing. Maybe you lose your job. Something tends to always happen in life later, and that's the times where you go, you know what, man, I wish I would have did this, that, and the other. I wish I would have went to that Orlando trip with the competition. I wish I would have gotten that showcase that I was a little too shy and scared of getting, because now you're at a point in your life where you can't go back. Something happened. Maybe you can't do it now. God forbid that happens, but it does happen. I've seen it. And you guys, and people are watching. You may feel it. Teachers, you could probably think of students who have gone through the same thing. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. If you have the ability to do something right now, and you can afford it financially, time, yeah, maybe you got to pick up some overtime hours. Who cares? What are you working for? Have a good time, right? If you could do an experience and you're having fun, man, extend those good times. Extend the good old days, because you always regret not doing it more than you regret doing it. I promise you that, because you've got those experiences to call back on, those memories. And I'll tell you what else those memories and good experiences do. They actually lift you up. They actually can make you happier. They actually give you a little bit of life to move forward. They give you joy. Think about it this way. Think about you never let's just say that you're interested in doing some of the events at the studio. Like, I'd like to do a competition one time, but no, I better stay away. I'm not ready. I don't want, I don't want to tap into my savings because, I'll go broke. And meanwhile, you've got tons and tons of money. Listen, if you got it, you got it. You can do it. If you don't have it, then don't do it. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, when you don't do things that you want to do, you keep everything in. I'm not going to do the competition. What happens is you start to grow a little tiresome, almost a little bitter, a little sad, and your body and your mind starts to kind of go like this. And then you get older and you're like, well, yeah, I didn't want to do that. Well, it wasn't worth my time or money. And you become slightly bitter and older and unhappy. I'll tell you what, we all see it. We all know somebody like that. You got to be careful. But the people who are going out, having fun, living life, they have those experiences. They're also happy in general. They're also living a higher quality of life, not only mentally, but physically, because they were out there moving and grooving, doing the extra entries at the competition, going out there and making those callbacks and dancing 100 times, whatever it may be. Guess what? That's a little extra benefit there. You're extending your life by dancing. You're extending your life of not only in years, but of the quality of life. So, it's kind of funny. It's all connected, really. So Aaron's here. Oh, he's telling me I got to do all this stuff. No, I'm not saying you got to do everything in the studio that your teachers ask you to do. But you should be doing something if you want to do it. If you've got the time and the money, do it now, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. And I'll tell you what, things always change. And let me back up a little bit. Remember I talked about don't let something minuscule take you off that good old times journey or that good old times track. Well, my teacher forgot to call me on my anniversary, so I'm not going in. I quit. Golly, we're losing all that because of a mistake that the teacher didn't mean to do, but it happened. Let me tell you something. You leave that teacher. You go to another teacher. You go to another school. You go to another environment. It can still be fun. It can still be great and all that. But I promise you this, it won't be the same. It will never be the same. That's what you got to be careful about. If you are happy where you're at right now, that little rascal Declan, he's a great teacher. He did miss my lesson that one time, a little rascal. He's still providing all those other great times and energies and feelings and connections that you have that you love. Don't forget about that, right? You try to go to another teacher or another studio to find somebody perfect who will never mess up or do things exactly how you want it and how you think it should be done. You ain't going to find it ever. I promise you. You will never find it. You've got to be willing to give a little. Obviously, you should be getting a lot, but you got to be willing to give a little. But the biggest thing is you're losing what you've had, which you'll never be the same again. Those good old times, the good old days, which you could be in right now. That's my message for today. Don't lose the good old days. Hold on to them as long as you can. Because what do we all talk about when we're older? Man, I remember back in the day when I used to go out there, and I love baseball. I used to play baseball. I was the best ball player on that field. I could throw that ball 88 miles per hour from the outfield. I could hit that ball. I'd run. Why am I talking about that? Because I wish I could do that right now. I probably can't do. I'm still pretty good. I still got it. But you want it. You're talking about it because you still want to do it, right? Those good old days were so good because you loved what you were doing. And what I'm saying is if you're in the good old days right now, and maybe you're just kind of opening your eyes right now, like, you know what? I think I'm in the good old days right now. Don't cut it short. Don't lose it. Take advantage of what you've got going on right now. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy it because like that, it could be gone. It could be out of your hands, you know? And it may not be the student who changes the good old days or opts out. It could be the environment of the studio. Something could happen within the studio. Your teacher could get older and stop teaching. And now you dance with somebody else. Yes, it's going to be great with a new teacher, but it will never be the same. It will never be the same. You know, and I've actually experienced that with some of my students as I've been teaching them for 19 years. You know, ask Paula. It's a little different now than it was 19 years ago. It's still great, but it's different because, you know, my priorities, my time, I got a lot of things going on. Message of the day. Don't blow the good old days, man. That's all we talk about. That's why we're here. Have fun. Enjoy the studio that you're in. Do that open routine. Do that showcase. Do that competition. Get that thing that you've been hesitant about. Do it. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Later in life, you will look back and you will go, man, those were the good old days. I loved it. That's my message for today, guys. Nice, short and sweet. Good old days, don't cut them short. And if you want, listen to that country song. You're gonna miss this. You're gonna want this back. You're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times. So take a good look around. You might not know this now, but you're gonna miss this. Cue the music, DJ. Peace out, guys. See you next time. This is Aaron Desoto on Real Ballroom Talk. Did I say it right that time, Becky? Real Ballroom Talk. Hey, hey, hey.